Hey gang, welcome back. So yesterday, Senate Republicans finally released their stimulus check and unemployment benefits proposal. Just to bring you up to speed, a while back, House Democrats proposed a $3 trillion HEROES Act that included unemployment benefits, stimulus checks, and a whole bunch of other things. We've all been waiting for Senate Republicans to come up with their proposal so that the folks could finally negotiate and hopefully get something passed here soon. So yesterday, Senate Republicans came out with what they're calling the HEALS Act, and it's actually several bills introduced by a number of senators that address different pieces of the COVID-19 stimulus, or I guess second round, right, of stimulus proposed by Senate Republicans. But what I want to focus on here, stimulus check, unemployment benefits, and then I'll tell you when I think this is actually going to become law, what the process is going forward. So first, the stimulus check. This was introduced in a bill by Senator Chuck Grassley. Actually, his bill also covered the unemployment benefits that we're going to talk about. And it's effectively identical to the stimulus check under the CARES Act a few months back. So if you got a stimulus payment in the first round, you're going to get one this time too. It's $1,200 as before for individual filers, $2,400 if you're married filing jointly. It also has the same eligibility criteria. So, for example, if you're a single filer, your stimulus check begins to phase out with adjusted gross incomes over $75,000. That number is $112,500 if you file as a head of household. Married filing jointly, $150,000. Now, there was one change. You recall in the first round, if you had a dependent child, you got an extra $500, but there was an age limit. Under the Senate's current proposal, they've done away with that age limit. So even dependent adults could generate the $500 rebate. So that's sort of the one change. But other than that, pretty much the same as last time. Not so with unemployment benefits. Here we've got a big change. So recall under CARES Act, the federal government was paying $600 per week, just a flat amount, over and above whatever you'd receive at the state level. What Republicans have now proposed is sort of a two-phased approach. What they want to do is start paying flat fees, flat amount again, but much lower, $200 a week. That would begin in August. Recall that the $600 a week is effectively over now. Technically, it expires July 31. So what would replace it is $200 a week through September. And then beginning in October, what the Republicans want to do is come up with a system where when you take the state unemployment benefits, add up to $500 a week from the federal government, but they want to tie it to 70% of an unemployed person's lost wages, up to, again, $500 a week. Now, that's a big change from the $600 a week flat fee, and I can tell you now it's going to be a huge source of contention between the Senate Republicans on the one hand and Senate Democrats and House Democrats on the other. What they've called for is a continuation of the $600 flat weekly payment through, I believe, January of 2021. Now, the debate is this. What Republicans say is, look, we shouldn't pay people more not to work than they would earn when they're working, and we shouldn't pay so much that it creates a disincentive for folks to go back to work. Democrats say, oh, come on, that's silly. American people, by and large, want to work. They're not just staying home to collect a benefit, and folks really need help. So however that plays out, I suspect that they're going to meet somewhere in the middle, but exactly what it looks like, we don't know. So here's what's happening. Starting last night, Senator Schumer and Nancy Pelosi, Speaker of the House, they met with the Treasury Secretary, Stephen Mnuchin, and they also met with the White House Chief of Staff to sort of begin negotiations to resolve the significant differences between the HEROES Act and the HEALS Act. Now, I suspect this won't all get finalized at the same time. The unemployment benefits are particularly important because, as I mentioned, they're expiring now. So I suspect that's going to get a lot of attention now. They are meeting again today. But in terms of timing, of course, the hope is The unemployment package can get solved very, very quickly and passed because the states will need and the federal government will need time to implement whatever it is they ultimately agree on. And as I said, benefits are running out. In terms of the stimulus check, frankly, I wouldn't expect to actually receive anything, in my view, until at least September. I think it can happen faster than the first round because they just did this and the eligibility requirements are the same. So it shouldn't take them that long to effectively send out another payment. But you've got to get the law passed, and then the IRS has to, get the payments out to folks. So it's possible it could happen in August, I suppose. I would count more on September. So that's the high-level information. I will include a link below this video with an article I just published on Forbes with additional information and additional resources. And of course, this is a developing story. So as we learn more, I'll come back to you with more information. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comments below. And remember, until next time, the best thing money can buy is financial freedom.